Okay, welcome to Impactful Billionaires, the podcast show with our very own Nyasha Creditso and myself. And this is the seventh new show. Goodness, I can't believe it. And here are the top stories.
Yeah, we're leading up to Christmas very fast. It seems the days are just becoming, weeks are becoming days.
I
I
know.
don't know why. Christmas always comes to me quite quickly than I anticipated. From my birthday downward, I just know Christmas is coming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
come really
so
quickly, isn't it?
yeah.
So, if you would like to share your stories of impact, please get in touch at impactfulbillionaires@gmail.com. So, top story today is health for all. The United Nations are today sort of gathering reports, and it's time for action, isn't it? So,
Definitely, yes. Oh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. The statistics, it doesn't bode well when half of the population doesn't have access to essential health service. It just is a lot of people who don't have, things we take for granted.
Yeah.
Mm.
The health expenses leave an estimated 2 billion people facing financial hardship, including 344 million people living in an extreme poverty.
Mm.
And it's time to get progress towards health for all back on track. So this is actually officially known as International Universal Health Coverage Day.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, where they're actually sort of gathering reports and looking at different health systems and primary healthcare. Because it is a problem globally, basically, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's a global problem.
Yeah.
And yeah, global. And when we come to poverty and lack of resources, this extreme poverty, it touches us all. It doesn't matter whether you're global north or global south. It has an impact on everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely it does. It's not good. I mean, even still in the UK, there's poverty here as well. So
yeah,
um
definitely.
it's but you don't think of certain countries, do you, as
No,
in the
no,
States,
no.
for example, as well. But yeah, it is a universal problem and one that we need to try and fix. So,
Yeah,
if
I think it's a fantastic um, campaign for the UN to put it today as the health on the agenda and to look what's happening around the world.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I think so, definitely. I think,
yeah,
it's something that should really be done. And we as I said, we need to sort of all check and if there are people out there that can help as well. Uh,
mm,
you know,
yeah,
philanthropists or, people that would, volunteer or help where you can is always, a great thing, isn't it, to be honest?
yeah,
So, um, that's why we started Impactful Billionaires Club, isn't it, really? To
yeah, yeah, yes.
operations.
To raise this awareness and people to make an impact, to try and contribute to making a difference, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
Then yeah,
Yeah. Because it's all about collaboration, isn't it?
mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely. So, finally, the COP28 has finished for
Oh,
this.
it's come to an end today, is it?
Yeah. So
Ah,
it's the close of play today, which is already closed because there's so many hours behind us. And COP28 Director General made a speech. We are facing the most demanding COP agenda of all time. Um,
yeah,
and we're seeing right now, everybody working through the agenda, and everyone is trying to do something that they've never done before because, bottom line is we need to keep, the
to
globe
1.5 degrees.
1.5 degrees.
Mm, it
Uh,
seems to be so crucial. The whole thing is going to melt.
yeah, Yeah. And you know, we laugh. I mean, even I, you know, was walking out on my walk the other day, and two fields near the river were just absolutely, they were like a huge lake,
Wow.
you know, a
Oh, I've
huge
never
lake.
seen it so wet ever. It's just really unbelievable. And it's really unknown, extreme weather, really.
Yes. Yeah.
Around the world, it's just extreme freak weather. Um, yeah, it's something needs to be done.
Well,
My, you know, going back to Cindy's comment earlier about keeping a positive mindset.
yeah.
How do we keep, how do we keep a positive mindset about the climate uh, change? I mean, is it too late? That's
No.
what really worries me, thinking, God, how can we just make this? It's so essential, but I don't know whether this gathering of COP, whatever, 28, whatever they are, whether they make any difference, whether we are really on 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 um on the spot to stop this whole thing collapsing on us.
Well, definitely. And I mean, I think the thing is it's come down to the fact, um, you know, that it is partly a tick boxing, a box ticking exercise rather.
Yeah.
And it has become that. But I think, you know, the reality is starting to sink home. And that there has been a 21-page text be prepared by the COP28 president, um, and from the United Arab Emirates rather, makes no mention of fossil fuel phase down or
Yeah.
out. And obviously, you know, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said earlier on Monday it was one of the keys to the conference's success, and which many nations have demanded.
I think the host this time might have been a bit compromised, conflicted,
Well,
being one of the largest fossil fuel producing country in the world, hosting this. I thought it was quite a clever thing at the beginning, that it's sort of really in their face for it to have been there. But I'm just wondering, in terms of message, how it was played out, whether they were not the best of hosts, because they
right.
were conflicted in terms of business. They were conflicted.
Yeah, no, I think they were completely conflicted. And I think the thing is that what we need to think about, to do with the UAE, is their complete source of income.
Yes.
It's fossil
Yeah.
fuels. I mean, you
Yeah, I
take away
know.
fossil fuels, how are they going to function?
Yes.
So, yeah, there is a lot of controversy there. But you're right in thinking that,
Yeah.
maybe this is a clever tactic.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was really good, but then at the end, the phase out and phase down was not mentioned, because I think it was too politically incorrect to say it, kind of thing.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. So, I mean, no, you're absolutely right. So, I mean, what's in, as far as, COP28 this year is concerned, is tripling global capacity of renewable energy by 2030.
Mm.
US and
Yeah.
China pledged to work together towards this goal in a deal struck between the world's two biggest emitters in the run-up to COP20.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that is good news.
Yeah. That is good news.
That is good news.
Wow.
The rapid phase down of unabated coal and curtailing the numbers of new licenses. So, I mean, I have to sort of, clap my hands for both the US and China here, because I think, that they've taken a stand, and so be it. But, what's out is the phase out of fossil fuels, isn't it?
Mhm. Yeah. I
Uh,
think there's no turning back with that, no matter how it slows down or whatever, I think that conversation is going to remain on the agenda.
It is going to remain on the agenda, but you know,
Mm.
it's also interesting because a couple of the billionaires, and especially the ones that have been doing space exploration, and I've forgotten his name, and it'll come back to me. It's not Elon Musk, that's the obvious one, and it's he's an Indian billionaire.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, he's into
Yeah.
space exploration as well. And they have
Well,
actually
I didn't know
discovered,
it doing
haven't
that.
they, that there is other things, you know, on the moon and other, you know, natural products that are growing there that can be used to help on planet Earth, which sounds really kind of far out, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
actually
I
not.
hope I hope they're not gonna start messing around with the moon, and they should leave it well alone.
Absolutely, they should leave it well alone. But you know, there is a way
We
forward.
haven't had a good job of it on the Earth, have we?
No,
Never mind go to another planet
no,
and start digging.
no, absolutely. So as I said, it does sound really kind of like far out. So,
Yeah.
but I think, you know, the way forward is definitely hydrogen cars, isn't it?
Every child deserves a loving family, and that is why I founded Banya Fostering, an independent provider in 1996. In the past 24 years, we have grown to become one of the largest agencies in the UK. We thrive to support carers and empower children, providing opportunities for brighter futures. Have you ever thought about supporting a child that needs it most? So far, we've helped more than 7,000 children in our care. Yeah.
So
Meanwhile, we've got Fatima's campaign.
we have got
Is she doing two things? There's the Everest challenge, and then there's a normal campaign.
well, there's her normal campaign, as we know. We spoke to her last week.
I know, it's fantastic to meet up with her.
Yeah, and she is now another impactful billionaire who is going all out,
Yes,
as you know, to try and change the UK fostering system, you know,
yeah, the care system.
to support children and well, to support children, you know.
Yeah, children and young people who find themselves in the care system. And
Yeah,
she's doing this, she's looking for sponsorship for her to climb Everest Mountain, isn't it?
yeah, Everest Base Camp.
Yes, foot
Actually,
by foot, yes.
yeah, the base camp is a tricky one apparently now. So I know
Yes,
a few people have done
oh
it.
my goodness. Good luck to her.
Yeah, it's a serious trek. So
Yes.
um
Well,
sh-
I mean, she's fit, and
oh
she's
yeah,
trying to raise 1.75 million.
yeah, that's so that's one foot by foot. So she, you know, it's like a pound for a foot. So there's
thousand.
17,500 of them. So
Oh,
yeah, so she's going to be doing that. So and
do you know when it is? She's actually doing the walk.
no, I don't actually. I will find out
But
more.
we'll find out a bit more.
Already the campaign is up online and on the Just Giving page rather, so you can go and
Yeah,
um
we can donate. Yes, I've just
yeah,
looked at
start
everything she
donating.
sent me.
Yeah, people have. So it's justgiving.com crowdfunding Fatima's Everest challenge.
Oh,
The
oh, that's lovely.
So that's crowdfunding Fatima's Everest challenge. So if you just pop that in to the search box, then you will find it. And please donate because you know, acknowledging that there are 70 children out of every 10,000 entering the care system, and this number can
Every day, and it's
rise.
such a subject so dear to me. I've worked with children in the care system for the last 40 years. So, I mean, I could have spoken to Fatima for 100 hours the other day, honestly. I could have spoken to for forever about her own personal experience as someone who grew up in the care system. And it's so inspirational to have her to have survived. She's a survivor, really, the system. But
Yeah.
to then look back, she was saying this has been going up in care for the last 60 years. This has been going on for 60 years and nothing has changed. And she really wants to completely transform how the care systems work with young people, children and young people who find themselves in this situation where for some reason they're neglected, abused by their families, or whatever reason their families cannot look after them for any whatever period, whether it's 1 day or 18 years. Yes, it's such a worthwhile campaign, and to put pressure on the government, to lobby the government. And she's going to do the summit, isn't she?
Yes, she is. She is.
It's going to be an annual summit to really, I think, really, she wants it to be run by in the care system for people who are in the care system to see some role models that you can't be in care and be inspired.
Yeah.
I think it's really worthwhile. She's got some incredible ideas, which are gonna come up as the summit becomes live.
Well, yeah, and as an
Yeah.
impactful billionaire yourself,
Yes,
we're all going to be involved in trying to, well, not trying, we're going to be involved in helping move this forward for her as well.
yes,
So with whatever we can really. So but I mean obviously you're the lady with the knowledge because
yeah,
in Kenya when you did,
yeah,
which is
yes, yeah.
incredible as well,
Yes,
Nash.
I did know this about her, but I didn't realize this. I knew she was adopted, but I didn't know she had experience being in the children's care home and uh, fostering, and I didn't know that bit.
Yeah, till she was 14.
Yeah, she was adopted quite later on.
Yeah, 14. She was left for dead, wasn't she, as a baby?
Yes, yes, that's the bit I didn't know.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable. Yeah,
Just an
yeah.
incredible story, and well, what an
Mm,
incredible person she is. She's really lovely.
mm.
And
Yes, lovely.
if
Yeah,
anybody's
she's good.
out
She
there,
really wants to contribute and make a difference to other children.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Which is also something else that I know it's not on the news agenda today, but something else I just really wanted to bring up really quickly is the fact that, there are children in poverty this Christmas, and there are lots of different schemes going on. If you can sponsor a child with Action Aid,
Mhm.
or, you can give to children at Christmas. I know that there are several different schemes that are going on to help with giving children presents, or just being there in terms of donating to children's
Mhm.
charities at Christmas. So please do, please,
Yes.
and please do donate to Fatima's challenge as well. So thank you. Right, so what else is on the agenda? Well, we haven't heard any more with our other impactful billionaire who's making a historical landmark case stand in the US by
Yeah. Yes.
yeah. We
So good.
haven't heard any more apart from the fact that
Yes, I'm sure there's gonna be more coming that way.
absolutely.
Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah.
It was the amicus brief with John Richardson, who is, SAYAT, stop basically expatriation American tax. So,
Yeah.
this is what happens, as we said, probably if you were listening last week, to a lot of American born naturals, they move abroad and then they get taxed on absolutely everything, even when they're not living in America, which is
Yeah.
quite tough going, isn't it?
Yes.
And then, you know, this particular case with Charles and Kathleen Moore, who live in Washington State.
Yeah, they've gone to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, and they've
Mm.
gone to the Supreme Court. So as I said, it's a landmark case. It really is.
Yes, it was definitely what to watch and follow up.
Absolutely.
It's gonna make a huge difference to a lot of or people who just happen to be born in America and never even lived there.
I know.
Yeah, it's just by birth that you've got to do this.
Bit crazy, isn't it? So
Yes,
I don't you know, understand how you know, because we always want to be on the right side of the law, whatever it is that we do.
yes, of course.
So for us to you know, to sort of move forward with everything is, you know, that, you know, they need to really sort of sort it out, I would think.
Yes.
Really. So, you know, that people aren't, you know, kind of living under this kind of pressure in life. I imagine it's causing a lot of mental health problems as well.
No.
Yeah. So, right. Wow.
Meanwhile, we've got, I'm gonna be one of the judges again for this Thames Valley Great British Expo, which
Yeah.
the nomination have opened for people to nominate themselves or other people to nominate you for business, community awards, the best employee, the best whatever champion of the community, anyone making a difference in local to you. The closing date is for 21st. I know the judging is happening in January.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm
happening
coming
in
back for my Christmas
January.
to do that.
And
Yeah.
I won't, it's all right. I won't let anybody bribe you, Nyasha.
One of the judges. No, but it'll be nice to me between now and the judging.
It's been really nice to me. So
Yes,
So,
yeah, that's fantastic. Alex is organizing that.
yeah,
I,
it's organized.
I just suddenly saw some communication about it last night. I said, oh God, I forgot about that. But I
Yeah.
promised to do that.
So that would be a really, really good thing. So
Mhm.
the judging is going on early January, and then the actual event is the 24th of January, I think, isn't it? It's Thursday.
Yes,
Actually,
very. And I think it's gonna be in Reading again.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
actually, there's gonna be some in Reading, and then I think a week later there's gonna be one in Swindon.
Yes.
Yes.
So
I think I'm gonna be judging the Reading one. I'm not sure whether I'm going to the Swindon one. I'm not sure when the Swindon one is.
no, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that would be good.
Meanwhile, Reading is always on our news, isn't it?
Well, Reading is always on our news.
Our news. It's
Yeah,
our center.
just
Reading Connect Reading, the local church bringing the giving tree to greater.
Reading each year.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, the donations for the Giving Tree. So this Christmas, they're working with 17 local charities and the Royal
Yeah.
Berkshire Hospital to provide over 1,200 gifts to local people in need. So
Yes.
if you can donate, please do so.
Oh.
www.connectreading the Giving Tree, any donations before the 15th of December. So it closes this week on Friday.
Okay, so that they can distribute the presents, I suppose.
Yeah, so they can distribute the presents and they will buy different presents for the 17 local charities. And as I said, I've actually taken part in this before, and it really is a wonderful event. And again, it gives to children at Christmas. There are plenty of other charities out there, though, because not everybody lives in Reading, contrary to Ali and Nyasha's belief. No, I'm joking.
There's lots of them.
So yes, that's that. And then just before we go, a quicker sort of roundup of news this week. Well, I suppose it's news that Nyasha's live from a hotel, but
Yes.
is International Women's Day. We're having an event, our first inaugural event. We have actually teamed up in partnership with the Great British Expos, who
Yeah,
we're talking about.
that's really exciting.
It's so exciting, and it's going to be at Highfield Park on the 21st of March. Our very own Nyasha will be speaking. So yeah, that will be really good. I mean, I know you probably don't want to blow your own trumpet on the news show, but you are an excellent mentor and have a wealth of experience in social enterprise. So do come along, where there's going to be profile
I
headshots.
hope my book is published by then as well, so I can sign it.
Yeah, we'll have to get on the case, Nyasha, because
yes, I've got to get on the case.
yeah, that is important, because we will have to do that. So don't worry, folks, I will be on the case with her. And so there'll be startups perhaps coming along. I've already had a lot of interest from different female entrepreneurs. There'll be workshops, and it'll be really
there's going to be exciting workshops, isn't there?
Yeah, some really exciting workshops, to do with personal development, and branding, and really getting your name out there with PR, and all that type of thing. So it will really be a great event. So I think that kind of brings us to a close news-wise.
No problem.
So it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me in the middle of London, Bond Street. It's a very strange place I am. It's fantastic, but I'm just about to interview somebody for my podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have some water and get myself ready for the next interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So coming up, Nyasha chats to Cindy Slaughter, an entrepreneur in marketing who's on a mission to bring a better workplace for people to thrive in and empower women.
Hello and welcome. My next guest is Cindy Slaughter, an entrepreneur in marketing who founded MIM agency in making a difference in the workplace, as well as championing startups and SMEs. She talks to me about leading with a positive mindset to encourage others to grow, as well as empowering women to reach their full potential and speak up in the workplace. She shares why it is so important to her to allow women to be heard at work.
You're listening to Impactful Billionaires, the podcast with the UK's top award-winning social entrepreneur, Nyasha Kwatditso. Why not be part of the club transforming lives and join us on Patreon? If you would like to get in touch, email impactfulbillionaires@gmail.com. This is a For the Now media production.
I love it when technology works.
Don't we all?
What is a nightmare when it doesn't? Absolutely, such a good nightmare. So I really started the conversation by just talking about what you're doing at the moment. What are you focusing on at the moment in your work?
Yeah. So we are a startup and probably considered scaling marketing agency now, who we are growing in revenue and headcount. And the dream is to ultimately be able to live by our values of being able to be a family-friendly marketing agency, in the sense that we want people to be able to raise families. We want people to be able to go and live how they want to live, pursue their interests, their beliefs, everything that they want to do in life, but still be able to have a job and enjoy it on a day-by-day basis. So we're very much focusing on the people over the profit, but we are very strong believers that if you think about it that way round, the profits will come in the long term.
Oh yeah, they will. It's a lot, and then sometimes it's quite difficult to believe that they will come, but they will, because especially as people buy into your values and get
Ex-
you need to get aligned. You need to be aligned with your customers and the people.
Absolutely. And as
Yeah.
we're moving ourselves into more of a corporate space, in the sense that a lot of us come from a corporate background or have touched on corporate experience, whilst actually having quite a young um, sort of fresh contingency within the business of people and the view that they bring. But like I say, it's just holding on to that value of, a lot of marketing agencies get into this thing of, we have to be working till 12 12 at night and absolutely killing ourselves in order to get the results. And it's like, no, let's do the quality over quantity. Let's have less clients but do better for them. And same with the staff. Let's not necessarily have tons and tons of staff. Let's get the quality people in and align them with the right people to drive the right results.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. You're really looking after yourselves as you work, because this 24 hours, 16 days, whatever, they're not sustainable, and they have a huge impact on families and people.
Yeah.
With family relationships and stuff like that. It wasn't, we were not meant to work these hours. That's all I could say.
No, I agree. It's demoralizing.
Yes, yeah. And oh, it's just so yeah, unproductive long term. You might have quick wins at the beginning, but I think it's just not sustainable. What about when you're thinking about what you do now, especially around this issue about impacting people versus profits, where do you think that comes from? Where is there an aha moment? Is it from your corporate experience? You said, oh no, I think things could be done differently, or is something you feel you were brought up with, or where do you think it comes from?
I
Why
think
do you do what you do today?
why do I do what I do today? I think it's very much about the experiences that I've experienced as being a woman in the workplace. I was raised by my parents were both working parents, and as much as they've gone on to divorce and not necessarily see to eye on a lot of things in life, what they did install in us was a work ethic. Um, but they both really enjoyed what they do as well. Even my dad still, he runs his own window cleaning business. He
Yeah,
loves cleaning windows and
yeah.
he loves
Oh,
being
it
able
gives
to,
him joy. It's
yeah.
quite rewarding actually to clean anything. I like washing dishes. I don't like using my dishwasher.
But it's the simple things, right? And if you can
Yeah.
find the joy in that. So I think there's
Mm,
that thing of making sure that you enjoy your work and you know, you put yourself into it. But then I think I went and did that and came up against what sadly doesn't seem to be a unique story in any way, shape, or form, but
mm,
women in the workplace and the discrimination that you come up against within that space. For example, and I sort of put the trigger warning out there now, I started trying for a family with my partner, and the first baby that I conceived, I lost. And I had to put a brave face on it, and I had to go in. And
mm,
instead of just being able to go, you know what, guys, I've lost a baby. I need to take a couple of days or a couple of weeks just to get myself right. I'll do what I can.
mm.
I just felt like I could not have that conversation, because the first thing they'd do is go, well, you're not committed to this business, or you don't want to be here. So on your bike,
Wow,
off you go. And that's
wow.
very much what
Uh,
I wanted to avoid. And like I say, I am not unique in that story. There's so
no,
many
no, it
women.
happens every day, every day.
Absolutely. And
Mm,
I would never want a member of my staff, regardless of who they are, because the men feel the loss as much as the women in this situation. You know, they need to be recognized in it as well. I would want my team to be able to come to me and say, Cindy, this is what we're going through. Can I just take some time? Yes, absolutely. Please do.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God. But I mean, to be questioned about your commitment is just terrible, honestly. That is not right.
But you just know it's the feeling that you'd get. You know, it was the sort of company where there was obviously gender pay gaps. You know, the men, and this isn't against men, it was just the company that I found myself in. You know, they would get company cars or better company cars. They obviously were just getting the better salaries. It was simple things, right? This is a weird one. The men would take time to go and get their hair cut on a lunch break. If one of the women ever considered doing that, they'd literally be like, "What are you doing? What? Like, you can't go and get your hair cut on your lunch break." Well, you do. So
how old?
yeah, and yeah, so therefore, going through my journey, I just knew that it couldn't always be like this. And
No, there was a better way of doing it. Of
there
doing
was
the
a
same
better way.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there has to be. And there I've had good experiences and I've had bad experiences. That's one of the bad
Yeah.
experiences.
Mm,
I've had
yeah.
good ones, and they've
Yeah.
made me
Oh,
realize
yeah.
you can do this differently.
Good. Oh, so then you went off and set up your marketing company
Yes,
and
so
never looked back.
never looked back. So my colleague Rowan set up the business in 2015.
Yeah.
It was kind of a bit of a side hustle, but then he got made redundant from Hitachi Vantara and thought, you know what, I'm going to give this a go. And he brought on myself and my colleague Claire. And actually we have we've stayed very much a female driven business with 75% leadership female and 75% across the board. It's not how we've sort of angled for it to be, it's just
But it's, yeah,
naturally gone
and you
that way.
attract people like you anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly that. You sort of yeah, you always surround yourself with people that obviously are kind of aspiring to the same goals, and that's very much where we've landed. So yeah, I've been there for almost 3 years now, and it's just been the best move I've ever made, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. Wow. So just as COVID started, or in the middle of COVID, 3 years ago. Oh God, it feels like 100 years ago.
I know. Yeah. So just as we were sort of coming out of, where were we coming out? We were definitely coming out of one of the first lockdowns.
Yeah, the first lockdown. Okay.
Yeah. So we'd go for
Wow.
walks at sort of 2 meters apart.
Oh,
We'd Rowan and I would go for a walk around the local
oh
country park
yeah.
and go,
You're
okay,
allowed,
are we going to do
was it an
this?
hour per day or something to go out for
Yeah.
a walk? Oh,
Yes.
dear God. I hope we'll never have to do that again, because that had a huge impact on people's mental health, and people are still
Exactly.
suffering from that
I agree.
post-COVID. They haven't recovered
Mm-mm.
from that experience.
No.
So, meanwhile, what's next for you? What is your plans, your goals for the next coming few years? Do you have any coming up, or you're thinking about it? With the new year coming up, people start thinking about new year 2014 and 2024.
I think for a business perspective, it's continuing as we mean to go on. We're in a good place at the moment, and we have a really strong set of people around us. And for me, it's important to keep that company culture as we grow. We're now a team of 8, and we're looking to increase from that perspective. And as I keep saying to the team, it's that thing of holding on to your values. And if you don't set out your stall from day one, regardless of whether you're one person, 2 people, or 200, if you do not set it out from day one that this is the values that we are going to live by, then it's very difficult to retroactively try and install that into a set of company values.
That's right. You're so backpedaling, really, isn't it?
Exactly. So
yeah, people
it's
get confused actually. Say, oh, but I thought they would have made their own assumption what the values were.
exactly that. And we want to continue living by that. And I think from my own personal goal off the back of that is to continue to lead from the front and show the team that they can be what they want to be. I very much live by, I heard a term very recently, and I think it just really solidified how I feel is that you can't be what you can't see, but sometimes someone has to take that step and go, I'm going to be the person that people need to see.
Every child deserves a loving family, and that is why I founded Banya Fostering, an independent provider in 1996. In the past 24 years, we have grown to become one of the largest agencies in the UK. We thrive to support carers and empower children, providing opportunities for brighter futures. Have you ever thought about supporting a child that needs it most? So far, we've helped more than 7,000 children in our care.
So therefore, I am going to be that empathetic leader. I am going to put people first, and that is how we are going to drive results. If not everybody would agree, but that's my values.
Yes, I think we all need role models, isn't it? To sort of really to make it it's quite a powerful quotation you just said there about the thing about you can't be what you can't see. Because you know, over the years, things like women sitting on boards, women being, or whatever, or people of color being on the tables, you know what I mean? So how can you ever think it that you can't be sit on the table when you can't see anyone who looks like you, behaves like you? It's just incredible.
I heard a great story off the back of that particular quote. So I was at a Women in Tech conference recently, and there was a lady, I believe she was from Gambia, and she told me that, she went through this whole thing of her parents wanting her to be a doctor and, go and study and do all these things. Anyway, she decided to go and do computer science, and her parents there was no computer. They had no computer. So they were like,
so it was so alien to them. What on earth would you want to study such a thing?
Exactly. So they were just like, what is this thing that you're going to do? Anyway, she managed to convince her brothers, like, this is what I want to go and do. And I'm going to move to the UK and I'm going to study and I'm going to commit. And she's gone through this whole journey where she's now a solutions architect. And she said it's just lovely because her dad now tells everybody at home she gets to sit at home and work from her living room on this computer. And he loves it. But he couldn't understand because he couldn't see it.
No, he couldn't see it. He just couldn't imagine it. What he was, and just unbelievable. That's just that's really it really is a powerful statement, and something to which we always need to think about when we're, as leaders, as women leaders, and as mothers, that we have to be seen in the right places, doing the right thing by our children and those around us, because I know I'm into the extended family. There's some people you mother, you're not blood related to, but they're watching. They're watching what you're doing.
Absolutely. And I think it was having my girls in particular that really made me go, I have to do something. I have to be the person that helps other people. I just remember being handed this baby girl. I didn't know if we were having a boy or a girl. And my husband put the baby in my arms and went, it's a girl. And I went, it's a girl. Oh no, it's a girl. Like all these things that rushed through my head of I have to protect her. I have to show her how to protect herself. She has to know that she can work and she can be a mother, or she could do both, neither, whatever, just everything just suddenly went,
Yes.
this is me, this is my mission.
No, mission in life to make a difference to other people's lives.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if any of the audience are listening and wanting to, do you have, I mean, from your situation, coming from a corporate background, because quite a few people in the corporate world who listens to this podcast, they're always thinking, you know, what, you know, how do I do it? You know what I mean? To move that transition and try, especially if you're driven by wanting to make a difference, by wanting to make a difference to people's lives. Some people get so overwhelmed by it that they don't know where to start. So I'm just wondering, do you have any 3 tips or 3 wisdoms which you can share about where someone could start thinking about what they could possibly do?
Yeah, definitely. I think my first thought around this is that we're all very scared to fail or be seen to fail, especially if you have come from a position. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially if you have come from a position of strength where you were a certain position in a business, or you were earning a certain amount of money, or you had the big house, or whatever it is. And we have this real thing around, I can't be seen to fail. Now, for me, like, I'm an open book. I tell people whether I'm thriving, surviving, whatever I'm doing, I will say, you know, this is where I am. And
it is.
yeah, you know, and I genuinely believe that, you know, talking about your setbacks it doesn't show any weaknesses. Actually, it is a strength. And I know it's so cliche, but I genuinely think if you open up, more comes to you, more support comes to you. So, you know, be genuine in saying, this is where I'm at. I'd say, you know, put things on the back burner, you know, challenge the societal norms. You know, you're someone doing that yourself. You know, the work that you've done, you know, it's just incredible. And it, you just have to ignore the noise and just go, I'm going to do this.
There's lots of noise, I can tell you now.
Yeah.
And the noise, people and family and friends as well, they think they mean well. They do it out of love. It's not because they really don't want you to go, but they can't imagine it. You know, like this parent who was talking earlier about the computer.
Yeah.
It was so alien to him, and he meant well, saying, do something I know about, or and he really meant well. He didn't mean to put it down.
And that is
so there's a lot of that noise.
That is the conversation that I had with her, because I said, you know, how do you feel now? Because I assume that was coming from a good place. And she said it was 100% coming from a good place.
Yes.
But like you say, he didn't have the information in which to make that
decision. It was just fear, because it was so alien to him.
Exactly.
Fear drives us. It also fear. You know, you were talking earlier on about being scared. It's all about fear. So it paralyzes us. So we don't do anything because we just get so scared of it. I can't be going there. I can't make that mistake.
Exactly. And for me, you know, I saw a brilliant quote yesterday, is that you can't learn to drive in a parked car.
Yes, you have to make all those driving areas.
Exactly. You have to go and stall at some horrendous roundabout or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That is how you learn.
Yeah, you have to. It's just the driving is quite a good concept, actually, because it's quite nerve-wracking. And at the beginning, you just think you can't do it. How can I coordinate all these things, change gears, look at people, not run anywhere? You know, it's just so horrendous when you come to think of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, there is a risk. You're taking your life, other people's lives into your hands, but yet we do that every day. Almost a huge proportion of people do that every day. They've learned, they've got behind the wheel of a car, And what
Yeah.
they forget is that every time you get behind the wheel of a car, you're still learning.
Yes. You're still looking. You've got to be aware where you're going.
Exactly.
You can't do it with your eyes blindfolded.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so yes, I guess and then it's just lead by example,
Yeah.
just be visible. You don't necessarily
Yes.
have to be the loudest person in the room, but
No.
consistency and just keep going.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Really fantastic set of wisdom there from your experience, which is just wonderful. And every time I have this conversation, I'm always learning something new from it. That's why I'm always wanting people to end with their wisdom to someone who might be listening. And you never know. I'm always I almost have goosebumps when I hear somebody say, "I listened to this podcast," or "I read your book," or "I read this quotation," and it completely transformed their life. Somebody you don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just incredible how people's lives are changed by something quite simple, which is saying, like we're talking now.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I mean,
And
I've
people
looked
have
at
never thought about it that way. Yes. Yes.
and that's I think that's the thing. It's about listening to other people's experiences and
Mhm.
looking at how other people have done it and going, okay,
Mhm.
if this person can do it,
Yeah.
why not
Yes.
me as well?
Why not me? Yeah. Why not me? Yeah. My dad, when I was growing up, always used to say he was really, whatever, inspired by the man. I think 1968.
Yeah.
The landman landed on the moon,
Mhm.
and he said, "Nyasha, if a man can land on the moon, you can fly." And that's why he always say that. He said, "Why can't you do it?"
That's gorgeous. And you
And I
still
remember
live by
thinking
that.
when I was a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, that's sort of the kind of memory I had of my mom saying that, my dad saying this when I was so little. And I'm thinking, God, my dad trusts me enough that I can fly. But yeah, or that I can go to the moon. So we were
And do
raised on very high expectation because of that
yeah.
incident.
No, but that's amazing. And do you feel
Yes.
like on your side, do you feel comments and support like that's got you to where you are now?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And at the time, I never knew what it meant, and I never knew what. But he just gave. My parents were so encouraging. He just made me so that everything was possible.
Yeah.
So a no to me doesn't mean anything. I'll have to, it's almost a taboo subject because everything is possible. How can you say this? My dad say I could fly when I was 4.
Yeah. Yeah. I learned
So I come back and say, God, how can I turn it into yes?
and actually I heard an interest.
I'm so driven that way.
Yeah, and that's the
no,
thing.
that also a no doesn't mean no sometimes. It's just the way you presented the story.
I heard a very interesting parenting tip. My husband and I recently went to Amsterdam. We never had a honeymoon after we got married.
Right.
So we were like, right, well,
Lovely
going back to
place. I
COVID,
love
we were like,
Amsterdam.
right,
It's one of my
yeah,
favorite cities in the world.
it's fantastic. And the people are
Fantastic.
so friendly.
Yeah.
And we bumped into a teacher and we just got
Yeah.
chatting and we were having a drink. And she said, when I speak to my children or when I speak to my own child, I always try and lead with the word yes. Even if it's not yes straight away, it's okay, I want this thing. Okay, yes, you can have that in this time. Or, so always try and put the positive on it as to what you can do versus what you can't do. And I was like,
that's very good. Because
good.
you can hear, it can put you off, so you stop asking when you always, the automatic reaction is a no.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Big takeaway.
That's lovely. parental tip there.
Yeah, I mean,
reframe it. How can I make this into a yes before I open my mouth?
even though I don't want you to do it right now, it's still a yes for 2026.
Yes. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, thank you very much for your time.